Đây là chương trình Khéo dùng tiền của đài Little Sài Gòn TV. Chúng tôi là luật sư Tony Nguyễn, CPA.
Dạ, xin chào quý vị, tôi là Tom Nguyễn, công ty Integrity Escrow.
Xin kính chào quý vị. Hôm nay chúng tôi xin được trở lại với anh luật sư JJ Kim để nói về vấn đề labor law. Mr. Kim, would you introduce yourself to the audience?
Thank you. My name is JJ Kim. I am the attorney who is practicing at Garden Grove and near to the Vietnamese community. And our firm have different attorneys who practice labor law, other business, and myself is involved with trade and then labor and employment law. So I'm very pleased to have a discussion with Vietnamese leaders today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Mr. Kim. Last time we were talking about overtime,
Right.
and there are still a lot of issues
Yes.
we have to discuss.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
JJ, I want to chat with you about labor law, and I want to recap really quick about employees.
Right.
There's a couple of types of employees. There are exempt employees and there are non-exempt.
Right.
Could you kind of recap
Sure,
what this is
yeah,
all
sure.
about, and then we'll go on?
Many people actually have, they believe they have two type of employee, full-time or part-time. But that's not very important. So the real thing is exempt or non-exempt. So if every employer should know what the meaning of this. If they don't know, they're in big trouble. So exempt employee meaning is exempt from overtime, exempt from mealtime, exempt from break time. I mean, pretty much, employee can be paid by salary. For instance, you hire somebody, and you pay $3,000 a month or $5,000 a month, which is fine as long as he is exempt or he or she is exempt. The problem is the segregation between exempt and non-exempt. The law predicts you cannot decide by yourself. So many people, employer can decide, oh, you're exempt, I pay you $3,000, that's it. It's not the case. So non-exempt is you have to have time card. They come in, go out, and you have to provide 10 minutes break every 4 hours and 30 minutes break non-paid meal time, and in the afternoon also when you have another 4 hours you have to give a 10 minutes break time, and you must pay by hourly, and your pay slip must show what's your hourly rate. So non-exempt and exempt is totally different. So
I understand that, but how do I identify when I have an employee, like I said, like you said, they come in at $3,000 a month, right? And they work at my company, $3,000. I mean, do they have to be there 8 hours a day, divided by that amount of 8 hours, or how do I call them exempt or non-exempt?
Yeah, exempt employee has 4 different categories. Either so-called executive exemption, which is if you have employee who manage more than 2 full-time employee under him or her.
Who manages
Yes.
2 employees? Okay.
Really, the employees, not only for the title, actually his or her work assignment was manage people. Okay, sometimes they have so many titles. Even vice president, sometimes it could be non-exempt because he only have title and vice president. He does all these things and stuff, right?
it's for the law to decide. Let me just stop you right here. Let me do some translation
Right.
before
Sure.
it's a lot of you gave a lot of ideas here. Kính thưa quý vị, ông Kim ông có nói là thường mọi người chỉ có biết phân biệt nhân viên là part time và full time, nhưng cái đó là misleading. Về phương diện mà một người mà biết luật pháp thì phải phân biệt là exempt employee và non-exempt employee, thì hai cái đó rất là quan trọng. Những người mà exempt employee thì người ta không được overtime, người ta không được break, còn những người mà non-exempt đó thì bắt buộc phải có overtime, phải có break. Trong cái time card người ta phải show trace time, overtime.
Nhưng phải bấm vô bấm ra đã.
Phải có thẻ, phải có time card. Người ta phải được 10 phút break, every 10 minutes break every
10 minutes for every 4 hours.
every 4 hours and half an hour break for for lunch.
Lunch every 5 hours.
I see. And điều rất là quan trọng là vấn đề mà để phân biệt giữa exempt and non-exempt employees không phải là người chủ quyết định. It's not for the employer to decide. Nhưng mà luật pháp quyết định. Yeah, please continue.
So let me tell you about the law. The law, how the explain who is exempt, who is non-exempt. So exempt has 4 different categories. So as I mentioned, the manager's position, executive position, who manage more than 2 people. But his job must manage more than 50% of his work involved with the managing, meaning is hiring, firing, supervising. Even though one of the case I have done deal with before, he's a call manager, and he's a chief cook. He has 14 different regular cook, so he's certainly manager long time, but he cooks too. Then he's not more manager anymore. He really has to manage. Okay, only he's not cooking. Only he hire and fire cook. Then he's a manager. But if he's cooking more than 50%, his job is in the making pork. He's not manager anymore. So that is one managerial position, and number 2 is professional. Something like IT or computer technician in the company. So some is very special job like CPA in the firm.
Like in my office, we have escrow officers.
Yes, escrow
So
officer.
my escrow officer is a defined specialist job. She isn't a manager, but she has many assistants, like
Okay.
escrow assistants and so forth. She would be exempt then?
But if her job, he also closing all, call to coordinating with the customer client. More than 50% of her job is that kind of daily work. She's not
And
managing.
she non-exempt.
But she manages employees or
Yeah, managing
assistants.
meaning is she nearly has to manage. In other
Right.
words, she could intervene her her subordinate job, then is managed. Okay, hiring, firing, or the evaluation and stuff.
Review.
But he does same thing as other staff. Same thing, but he has this customer escrow, and then the other staff is doing the other customer escrow. But sometimes we call it manager, but this is not. This is not the case.
So that the
It's
test
very-
is the percentage.
More
test.
than 50%.
More than
has to
50%
manage.
devoted, like in your case, the cook.
Yes.
If he devotes more than 50% of his time to cooking,
Yes.
then it's not exempt.
Not exempt. So it's very, very hard to be exempt. That's why
Wow.
so many lawsuits.
Right, so it's like in my industry, I've been doing escrow for 25 years, from First American Title, from a title company
Right.
to independent escrow company, ultimately owning my own escrow company.
Right.
I've always been an escrow officer type, but I've always been exempt. From working at a large corporation,
Yes.
I've been exempt as an escrow officer, even though you're saying I shouldn't be.
There
Well,
is
The test, if you spend more than 50%
Oh,
of your
there
time.
isn't
That's
any test.
Oh, yeah,
We've
yeah.
always been exempt, but
Let me-
I get commission.
yeah, let me
I get commission.
explain to you. Each industry has different perspective of exempt. Like nurse and the cook, driver, escrow officer, like ship. Not only for the ship. Do you know the famous ship from PWA? Price Waters and
Price
Yeah,
Water-
Price
right,
Waterhouse.
that there was a 2,000 employee under that PWA PwC sued because they believe they are non-exempt because they do overtime. But the company said you are special because you are accounting very professional. So they sued because they have a EA license,
Yeah,
and,
CPA license, yeah.
No, not CPA, EA license.
EA
Yeah.
license.
But some people doesn't have a license. So they believe I don't have license, CPA license. CPA, you are exempt, but I'm not exempt. They sued. 2,000 people sued
The
the
firm.
company. Yeah, firm. And the trial court, the court said, yes, you are non-exempt. Okay. So PwC appealed the case. like appellate court. Appellate court say no. Even though you are not licensed because you are doing special job, nobody can do that. Then you are exempt. So they actually turns out very good for PwC. But
good.
Yeah, it didn't. For instance,
It didn't go to the Supreme Court, just the-
escrow cases. It might be. I don't have specific case case information. It might be categorized as exempt or non-exempt. It depends on nearly what kind of technicality or specialties involved. So a lot of escrow, the staffs, they do just simply, telephone call, doing inputting and a lot of stuff. Even though they are escrow officer, then it's not nearly professional.
Yeah, let me ask you to pause your thought so that we can stop the program and introduce our sponsors. So chúng tôi xin tạm dừng chương trình ở đây và xin trở lại với quý vị trong giây phút.